Today we're going to be talking about specifically Antifa. That's Antifa and the idea of nationalism and fascism and these weirdo things that they talk about. So we're gonna discuss a lot of that today, and that's that's going to be our topic because hell, that's what's going on in the news. We got Antifa all over the place, taking things over and doing weird stuff. Trying to dismantle and defund the police, and essentially just destroy this country. So that's what we're going to be discussing today is their tactics, who they are, what they're about, what their ideas are, and we're going to set a lot of that record straight. So, Jessica LeBron, I love you. She's an old time friend of mine, and she just wrote "fuck Antifa." Absolutely, I am 100% anti Antifa. I am 100% pro America. So we that is the way we should be. Jesus, what the hell? Donna Jean. All right, that's a lot to post there. But anyway, so yeah, that's where we're going with today. We're gonna talk about America and what real nationalism is, not this false narrative that keeps being pushed out. So along those lines, let's go ahead and just jump into this thing. The first thing we're going to talk about is Antifa. Antifa stands for anti-fascist. They are supposed to be an anti-fascist organization, which, you think about it. Okay, great. Fascism is bad. Fascism was exactly what Nazi Germany had. But then you roll forward, and a couple years ago, you realize Google changed the definition of fascism. First off, they said it was a right-wing ideology, which it is 100% not. Fascism is not a right-wing ideology. Fascism is a left-wing ideology. The reason they screwed the definition up is because they say that they base it on the European model. In Europe, they have completely gotten rid of the idea of small government. They have resigned themselves to that there is going to be a large power body running the people. And over there, the left says it should be the government and socialism and that type of thing, and the right says fascism, which is more of a dictatorial, mindset and less community minded, right? Funny thing that Nazi Germany was actually socialist and fascist. They can exist at the same time. They often do. Same with communism. Communism often exists with fascist ideals or fascist run communism. So, when we're talking about what fascism is nothing more than a dictator or autocrat, one person in total power, right? That's what it is. It's one person in total power. And what separates that from a regular dictator, from a regular dictatorship is the fact that they focus on nation over people. Right, one group, and it's not always the nation. It might also be based on race or ideology or something like that. So you could have an Islamic fascist organization. I mean that's what you would have if you have one guy in control that loves the Nation of Islam and hates everybody else and says kill everybody else and nobody else has rights. That is an Islamic fascist country. Same with Judaism. You could do that with whites. You could do that with blacks. You could do that with anything, any group of people. If you put somebody in power that says that group is above all else, that would be fascism. So, that the idea that Antifa has gone with is that fascism is somehow business run government, that capitalism is fascism. That is 100% not true. True capitalism is absolutely the opposite of fascism. Free market capitalism is the opposite of fascism. It is what replaces fascism and creates freedom oftentimes. So when you're talking about fascism, this is not it. Now, when you have cronyism and you have the weird stuff that quite frankly, the Republican Party has been guilty of years ago, and the corporate bailouts, even that happened more recently. When you have this kind of stuff, then you have, well, it's not really fascism, right? It's simply corruption, right? Because fascism requires that one thing, one person in power that has sole power over everything. They are the sole government power, right? And even in cronyism, you don't have that unless it's one business that runs everything. Like if you had Planet Starbucks, from Fight Club, and Planet Starbucks ran everything, that would be a different situation. So, that's a different thing altogether, right? That we're talking about two totally different ideals. And Antifa specifically targets white males. That is their enemy. That they have avowed that white males are to be their enemy. Not so much women, not so much, any quote unquote minority, any other group other than white or male. And specifically white males who are the same gender they were born and are of the same sexual orientation that would fit, nature, right? So if you're a straight male who was born a male and you're white, you are the enemy of Antifa and you are fascist. And they do that by saying that we are nationalists. And this has been the constant message, right? To say that we're white nationalists. Well, I mean, okay, cool. My skin is white, right? That's a thing. You can tell I'm white. I mean, I'm not saying the skinhead here. I'm just showing my face skin. Because this is not skinhead. I do have some hair there. Anyway, but I am obviously white, right? And why am I a nationalist? What does it mean to be a nationalist? It means to be a nationalist that I'm proud of my flag. I'm proud of my country. I'm proud of my nation. That's what it means to be a nationalist. Being a nationalist doesn't mean I hate every other nation. It simply means I'm proud of my nation. That's all it is. It doesn't mean that I think blacks should get out of this country. I quite frankly don't. I think America is great because of the melting of all the other ideologies, all the other nationalities, all the other races and religions coming together and creating something beautiful. I love hiring people when I run businesses. I love hiring people from all different backgrounds because they all come with different experiences, different ideas, different ways of doing things, different ways of solving problems. They've seen different things. And when they come together and you have a problem, the idea pool is so much larger. If all you're hiring are the same people with the same backgrounds, well, there very well could be problems that they have no idea how to solve, or they're going to solve incorrectly because they don't have enough data. So that is what we're for, right? We're for melting the country of all these other things. Now, to be an American, you have to believe in basic American ideals. That's work your ass off. That's the Constitution. That's law and order, right? Those are the things that make America. Those are the things. Religion, a specific religion does not. You don't have to be a specific religion to come here. Do you have to be a specific race? No. Do you have to believe one way or another on the abortion issue? No. Do you have to believe one way or another on the vaccination issue? No. And this goes at the core ideology of Antifa. It's tolerance, right? They promote tolerance. But if you're not tolerant, we should kill you. Think about that. If you're not tolerant, you should be killed. You should die. That doesn't sound extremely tolerant. Now, free speech is the idea of it is the most tolerant idea you can possibly have, right? Because with free speech, I can scream one of the dumbest things you could possibly imagine at the top of my lungs and have somebody next to me screaming the exact opposite at the top of their lungs. And we're both allowed to do it. That's free speech. That's what you're allowed to do. That's the greatness of this country. I can be pro-choice and have somebody next to me who's pro-life screaming at me. Now, I'm not pro-choice. but we can be screaming at each other at the top of our lungs. So long as we don't start hurting each other, then we're fine. We can do that. We can do that. So long as I'm not telling somebody else to murder that person, we're fine. Absolutely. That's what it is about. That's what free speech is about. It is about actual tolerance. Not you can only say what I say you can say. And if you don't say what I say you can say, then we're actually going to be intolerant. So intolerance of tolerance. Like, this is some 1984 newspeak shit. I mean, this is complete insanity. Like 2 + 2 = 5. That's what this shit is. And Antifa starts them off young, trains them up. Like one of the investigative reports I watched recently. I haven't dug into this enough. Justin is actually digging into this thing quite deeply here shortly, but one of the ideas of it was that they take the Green New Deal people, right? The global warming people, and they push them to this point where finally you're to the point where we need to kill everyone to save the planet. And then they take you from there and move you into Antifa, right? This is the ideology of this stuff. It's insane. It's truly, truly insane what they're doing. And we need to be tight knit. They have easily 20 years on us as far as organization. We have to get our acts together. And quite frankly, like, if we don't, we're going to lose out. We are, and I've said this before, we're about 5 to 10 years on the train tracks of time, right? If you look at Nazi Germany, like, just look at the facts. 5 to 10 years before they went to concentration camps, they were running propaganda campaigns against the Jews in order to dehumanize them. That's where we are at as conservatives. We are the enemy, and they are pushing this agenda. You're extremist. You're a nut job. You're a gun-toting redneck who just loves his Bible. You're a psycho, right? I mean, you're literally crazy. And part of this is so that they can have psychiatry come in as a tool in order to take away our guns, take away our rights as we go on down the track. So, part of that is there for that reason. And we have to make sure that we are organized in order to stop this. Because if you look at what's going on in some of these areas, Antifa is literally like setting up these mini war zones for or against us, and trying to basically defend these areas with armed guards and keep police and the police state out. Like, this is scary crazy what's going on. This is 100% terrorist or terrorist tactics. And we need to go back, and we need to be able to take these areas back. The police should be doing it, right? But the police are scared because they've been basically put in a bad spotlight, and they don't know what to do. I mean, what are they going to do? But when they come to the point of kicking in people's doors and attacking regular civilians, then we need to stand up. Like, that is 100% a thing. We need to take these areas back. And if that is what it comes to, I'm gonna hop on my bike and I'm gonna get my ass down there, and I will 100% be down with any of those areas, getting those rats out of there. So I invite everybody to do the same if it does come to that point, and we have to be out of there. And funny thing, right? So interesting side note here. They're talking about just now, like, defunding police, right? Well, they've already been working on this. California has already has a bill in there to start defunding the police. So, like, what are we talking about here? Like, we're literally talking about removing police. Now, don't get me wrong. When it comes to city and state police, they are unconstitutional law enforcement bodies. They actually should be removed, and we should go back to sheriffs being the sole constitutional law enforcement body. But we can't do it the way they want to. That will be complete insanity. If we go to just defunding them and getting rid of them, like complete lawlessness, which is what they want. And that's really what I wanted to get into here with Antifa. So Antifa has one main symbol that is theirs, and it's the red flag over the, or is it the black flag over the red one? I think one way or the other. I forget which one's in front. I think it's the black in front. Those are the communist and socialist flags. That is their primary symbol. They are for communism and socialism. But here's the interesting part. Their other symbol is the anarchy symbol. That anarchy symbol, they use it because, number one, it gets people interested from the right side who want less government, because that ultimately is the extreme right viewpoint, is anarchy, right? So it pulls some of the extremists in there, and they go, oh yeah, I'm for this, I'm for anarchy, you know. But the anarchy is just a tool, right? They need to create anarchy and chaos in order to come in and solve that problem. That's what they want to do. They want to come in with the communism and the socialism and solve it. And many people don't understand that. So that's what they're trying to do. They're actually trying to create the chaos so that they can come in with communism and socialism to fix it and create the fascism. Even though they say they are anti-fascist, they are not. They are actually for fascism. So that's how that goes. And I want to, the other topic I want to get onto real quick, because this is an Antifa talking point. And it's been a talking point in the Democratic Party for a while now, as far as the news goes and stuff like that. Patriotism versus nationalism, right? What's the difference? Nationalism and patriotism. There is no difference. If you're a patriot, you are for America and for Americans, legal U.S. citizens, no matter what their color, what their race, what their religion is, no matter any of that, just so long as they're an American citizen, they came here legally, they came here and they abide by the rules, right? If you're for that, you're a nationalist. That's what a nationalist is. If you're pro-America, there's nothing wrong with that. You should be for whatever group you're for. David Lowery Jr., he is pro the black community. More power to him, so long as it's not exclusive of the white community. If you are for the black community, great, you should be. I'm for the white community and the black community. I want both of them to do well. And I think he's the same, Peggy Hubbard, the same. That's how we have to be. We have to be pro our community, but pro other communities as well. And we can't let them continue to shut us down. Keep going on the Patriot fight, and keep it up, guys. Modern Day Revolutionary out, and keep it real. Later.